Let's go YouTube. It's your boy Flames back at it again today. Another video. Appreciate y'all for joining and watching. Today we have a long chapter, and honestly, I didn't really do anything today. I just hung out with my girl. Played some Xbox, played some Minecraft, played some Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. Chill a little day. Um, but yeah, that's about it. I don't really have a message for y'all today. Um, and yeah, chapter 41. Let's get right to it. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams. So we already saw in the last chapter Joseph interpreting you know, uh everybody else's stuff. Um or the other two people's dreams, the what was it, the pup maker and baker, right? And then he predicted that one of them was gonna die and then he died and then he predicted, the other guy was gonna be okay and then the other guy didn't even care at all. But yeah, chapter 41. Let's get right to it. After 2 whole years, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing up by the Nile. And behold, there came out of the Nile 7 cows, attractive and plump, and they fed in the reed grass. And behold, 7 other cows, ugly and thin, came up to the Nile after them, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the Nile. Then the ugly, thin cows ate up the 7 attractive, plump cows. And then Pharaoh awoke, and he fell asleep and dreamed a second time. And behold, 7 ears of grain, plump and good, were growing on one stalk. And behold, after them sprouted 7 ears, thin and blighted by the east wind. And the thin ears swallowed up by the 7 plump, full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. So in the morning his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men, and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was none who could interpret them to Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, I remember my offenses today. When Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me um, and the chief baker in custody, in the house of the captain of the guard. We dreamed on the same night, he and I, each having a dream with its own interpretation. A young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. When we told him, he interpreted our dreams to us, giving an interpretation to each man according to his dream. And as he interpreted to us, so it came about. I was restored to my office, and Baker was hanged. And the baker was hanged. Then Joseph sent quickly and called Joseph, and they quickly brought him out of the pit. And when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came in before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. I have heard it said that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. Joseph answered Pharaoh, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. And so it gives the glory to God. That's important right there. See, he said he's not trying to, claim credit for what he was doing. He's not saying, oh, I did that. No, saying God did this through him. That's what he's saying. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Behold, in my dream I was standing on the banks of the Nile. 7 cows, plump and attractive, came up out of the Nile and fed in the reed grass. 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and thin, such as I had never seen in all the land of Egypt. And the thin, ugly cows ate up the first 7 plump cows. When they had eaten them, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were still as ugly as in the beginning. And then I awoke. I also saw in my dream 7 ears growing on one stalk, full and good, 7 ears withered, thin, and blistered by the east wind, sprouted after them, and the thin ears swallowed up by the 7 good ears. And I told this to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years. The 7 good ears are the 7 years. The dreams are one. The 7 lean and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years. And 7 empty ears, blighted by the east wind, are also 7 years of famine. It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he is about to do. There will come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt, but after there will arise 7 years of famine, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. The famine will consume the land, and the plenty will be unknown in the land of the by the reason of the famine that will follow it, for it will be very severe. And the doubting of Pharaoh's dream means that one thing is fixed by God, and God will shortly bring it about. Now therefore let Pharaoh select a discerning and a wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh proceed to appoint overseers over the land, and take 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt during the 7 plentiful years, and let them gather all the food from those years that are come in to store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh for the food in the cities, and let them keep it. That food shall be a reserve for the land against the 7 years of famine that would occur in the land of Egypt, so that the land may not perish through the famine. Joseph rises to power. This proposal pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find a man like this, whom is the Spirit of God? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, since God has shown you all this, there is none so discerning and wise as you are. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall order themselves as you command. Only as regards the throne I will be greater than you. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, see, I have set you all over the land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and clothed him in garments of fine linen, put a gold chain around his neck. Mind you, this is after everything that happened where he thinks Joseph's trying to rape his wife. Like, this was everything that happened after that. After he was accused of that, thrown in prison, and basically gained everything back that he had before. So I feel like I was just testing Joseph's faith, in my opinion. And Joseph was stayed truthful and faithful to God the entire time, never questioning him. And he made him ride his second chariot, and they called out before him, bow the knee. Thus he set him all over the land of Egypt. Moreover, Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without your consent no one shall lift up hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Sepaneth-Penah, and he gave him in marriage Aneath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. So Joseph went out over the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. During the 7 plentiful years, the earth produced abundantly, and he gathered up all the food these 7 years which occurred in the land of Egypt, and put the food in the cities. Put every city He put in every city the food from the fields around it, and Joseph stored up grain in great abundance, like the sand of the sea, until he ceased to measure it, for it could not be measured. Before the year of famine, 2 sons were born to Joseph. Asenath, daughter of Papatriah, priest of On, and bore them to him. Joseph called the name of the first son Manasseh, for he said, God has made me forget all my hardship and all my father's house. The name of the second he called Ephraim, for God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. The 7 years of plenty that occurred in the land of Egypt came to an end, and the 7 years of famine began to come. As Joseph has said, there is famine in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. When all the land of Egypt was famished, people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Pharaoh said to the Egyptians, go to Joseph, what he says you do, what he says to you do. So when the famine had spread all over the land, Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe in the land of Egypt. Moreover, all the earth came to Egypt to Joseph to buy grain, because the famine was severe all over the earth. Okay, so so the entire world didn't have food, and it was very abundant for the first 7 years. So obviously, Joseph's prediction became correct. And it goes to show, Joseph never lost faith in God, um, and he notice how when he made the prophecy, he didn't say, um, I predict that this is going to happen. And then when everything happened, he's not shouting, "Oh, look at me, look at me." He doesn't care. That's why, you know, we gotta stay humble. And, that's what, one of the things that I want to get better at. I'm not saying I'm necessarily, bad at that, but, it's always good to get better in things. And, I want to make it so I'm humble. I want to be like Joseph. Joseph, you know, gained everything, lost everything, gained it back. Never once did his mentality change, and that's how I want my mentality to be right now. Um, right now I'm down in my eyes. I'm not down bad, but I mean, I'm not where I want to be, but I have faith that God is going to take me to where I want to get eventually. I feel like um things that have been told to me, but I'm right now I'm blocking my blessings because of how lazy I'm being. I'm gonna be honest. Um, and that's just not, you know, that's not what I want to be doing. And I want y'all to pray for me, bro. I need to be better. I want to be more proactive with life in general. Um, I wouldn't say like I don't know. I don't feel bad for myself, but I don't know. I'm not doing the best right now. I'm gonna keep it a buck, but I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to y'all a little bit more tomorrow in the video. Um, but yeah, I thank y'all for all y'all support and everything. Truly means a lot to me. We're closing on 100 subscribers. That's a big deal to me. The fact that it's crazy. I only have like I think I said on my analytics like 500 views on my channel, and I have almost 100 subscribers. So that means for every view that I'm getting in, some views are people like watching over and over again. So it means two things. It means one, the people that are watching, I guess, mess with me or like my content. Um, but at the same time, I'm also not, doing enough to be able to get my content, outreached. But, I have faith in God. If He wants to have my channel blow up, He'll make a video blow up. I'm not, and that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be, not putting effort in, but, this is, um, gonna reach wherever God wants it to be. And I'm just gonna say everything to Him. He's got it. And I don't need to be rich. Like, a lot of people, like, I said this to somebody one time. I was like, yeah, I don't really need, a lot of, like, I don't feel like at this point in my life, like, I don't feel like I don't need a ton of money. I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy as long as I can, have food to eat every day, place to lay my head at night. I'm gonna be all right. God's got me. If God wants to bless me, I'm gonna give it back. I'm gonna make it so me and my girl comfortable. But at the same time, I don't, I don't need, I don't need money, bro. Like, I just want to, you know, make something out of my life and, help a lot of people. I just want to help people. If I'm being honest, that's what I really want to do. So, um, and obviously, finances is a burden, to some extent, but, I don't really, I think I'm gonna just stop stressing myself out over money. Like, I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna work harder than I am, but at the same time, I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna overly, like I don't want to idolize money. I already have other things that I'm working on idolizing less. I don't want to idolize money. And when the time comes, God's gonna bless me. When God blesses me, I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be cool. Um, I'm not gonna have, much to worry about. Um, and maybe God will never bless me, but that's not. I feel like He will. Feel like eventually He will. Um, I pray that He does. I'm gonna keep my faith strong, and I'm gonna keep. I also pray that I get closer to Him. I pray that God makes me closer to Him. I pray that God allows me to to be closer to him, and and to secretly I want to seek a relationship with God. Pray that God gives me the urge to seek more of a relationship with Him. And I pray for God to use my life to help others. I pray for God to use my life to help save somebody. I pray that God uses my life to change other people's lives. Because I'm not worried about myself. I want to build my treasure up in heaven. I don't care about what's going on here. The world is probably gonna be done. And times are gonna come in the next 10, 20 years, and I'm blessed I'm blessed to be able to be able to know that you're not 10 years, maybe long, but before 2046. I'm not saying nobody knows the date and time, but my dad broke it down to me, and I mean, a generation after Israel became a nation is when God's supposed to come back. That happened in 1946. So just in case, I want to be careful, and then that also makes me realize it's like, okay, if that's the case, if there's only 20 years left, cool. Then what? Then what? So I'm gonna go work for 20 years. I'm gonna spend my life living paycheck to paycheck, stressing myself out. Now I want to do something to change the world. That's what I want to do. I want to change. I want to help change the world. I want to guide people and get people prepared for what's coming because I'm a part of the most important generation. Not very many people even realize. Not very many people even realize how important this generation of Christians is, because there's a chance, even if it's not 100%, even if it doesn't happen, there's a chance that we are the last ones. So you gotta prepare yourself spiritually, mentally. Gotta get right with God, because it's gonna take a village, and you wanna save the people around you, help people around you as much as possible. So appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. As always, love you so much. You know, all your support means a lot to me. Even if it's just one viewer from just helping one person, it means a lot to me. So I thank y'all. Um, and I love y'all. And yeah, we'll catch y'all in the next one. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. I love y'all so much. Um, peace.